If you're a real estate agent and you're trying to figure out what to post on YouTube right now, then this video is for you. Because after looking at what's performing across multiple different real estate channels around North America, there are some very clear patterns showing up. And it's a lot more specific than just be consistent or post local content. There are actual channel strategies, content buckets, and title frameworks that are working right now. So in this video, I want to break down the different types of videos that are working right now for real estate agents on YouTube and how you can apply this to your channel. By the way, I'm Sarah Newman, an agent in Charleston, South Carolina, and my mission on this channel is to help you create an enjoyable and sustainable real estate business, all without burning out. Now, before we get into specific video ideas, I think it helps to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because one of the clearest things that I'm seeing right now is that certain types of channels are performing really well. Think about your channel having a specific niche within your city to further differentiate you from the broad, more generic content that's out there. This is going to help call in your ideal client. Let me give you 3 examples of overall channel types that are working great right now. And then later I'll get into the specific videos that these channels are making, as well as titles that you can use on your channel. So stick around. Okay, so to kick us off, the first channel strategy is what you would call a local news channel. This is the kind of channel that talks about what's happening in the area, new developments, major projects, infrastructure projects like roads and transits, big changes like investments and business news, things that are opening, things that are shifting, what's coming next. This works because people care about what's changing in the place that they live or the place that they're thinking about relocating to. It also positions you as someone who knows what's going on locally. For example, Levi Lassick in Dallas, Texas has a few channels now. Some of you probably know who he is. Levi and his team started off with a buyer relocation channel that worked amazing, but then they decided to also start a local happenings channel to attract more of the local client so that they could start capitalizing on YouTube for sellers and not just buyers. And the result has worked very well. If you can be the local market expert sharing local intelligence, then you build your authority, your personal brand, and you start to be seen as someone who is trusted to know what's going on in your local city. Again, we're going to come back in just a minute to talk about some specific videos that could apply to this channel strategy. Another strong strategy that's working right now is the market update channel. And I do not mean boring market video updates where you just read stats on a screen like the days on market is this and the months of inventory is that, and then you leave it there, because that kind of flat data just means absolutely nothing to the consumer. They don't know how to interpret it. So by a market update channel, I mean actual breakdowns. So what's happening and why it matters? How does this apply to people? How does this inform a buyer's strategy or a seller's strategy based on that information? What are you personally seeing on the ground that's happening right now in your market? We know that data takes months to accumulate. We don't get data about, for example, March of 2026 until at least mid-April, if not later. Sometimes it's a month or longer. So if you can share what's happening right now in your local market before the data catches up, that kind of content feels much more relevant and useful. For example, Tom Story in Toronto does this well. Now, he doesn't exclusively just do market update videos, but they are a big bulk of his content buckets. And he does largely focus on time-sensitive headlines, which you could argue are less evergreen, meaning somebody that comes to the channel 2 years from now isn't going to be as interested in that video because things are going to be dramatically different in the market 2 years from now. But what it does do on the plus side is that it attracts clients who are ready to buy or sell today. They want to know what's happening right now. For example, some of his catchy headlines are things like, "It begins, the Canadian mortgage renewal tidal wave. It started, you won't believe what Toronto condos are doing. Toronto pre-construction buyers face massive losses, good, bad, and ugly." So he's taking real market data and turning it into relative insights. It's pretty genius. Another strong lane right now is retiring and 55 plus content. This is one of my personal big lanes that I've leaned into on my Charleston real estate channel. If you've seen my other content, then you know that I absolutely love this niche. It continues to do really well across the country. And it makes sense because these viewers usually have very strong intent. They're often in a major life transition and they have very specific questions. We know that baby boomers make up a huge amount of the sellers in our country right now. And if they're selling, they're looking for somewhere to go and retire. If you live in a market with 55 plus communities, do not sleep on this. At the time of this recording, between what I've closed the last couple of years and what I currently have under contract, just in 55 plus communities is about $26 million in volume. I'm telling you, this works. Another example is Michael Bleacher with his I Love Living in Las Vegas 55 plus channel. In his description, he is highlighting topics that this demographic cares about. He says, stay ahead of the retirement curve with the latest Las Vegas real estate updates focused on life after 55, active adult lifestyles, 55 plus communities, single story luxury homes, country club living, luxury condos, and spacious estates to retire with room for RVs, outdoor lifestyles, gardening, and more. So if you do a 55 plus channel, don't be limited in your thinking to think that you only have to highlight 55 plus living. You can highlight everything that's relevant to someone who is retiring, just like Michael listed some examples in his description, and there's even so much more than that. So you still have a ton of different types of content that you can create that is relevant to that person. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, you can see that there are some clear channel directions that are working really amazing right now. Pick one of these channel strategies or come up with your own, like island living, military relocation, or lean into the niche that you already have. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, then please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell for notifications so that you can continue to stay up to speed on the latest YouTube tips, as well as other helpful content to build a real estate business that you love. Now that we have an overview of some of the broader strategies, let's get into the actual types of videos and the 6 content buckets that are working right now. The first big bucket is major projects and development. This is one of the strongest categories right now. Videos about major developments, new communities, infrastructure, big local projects, and anything that is transforming an area are performing really well. And that makes sense. People are curious about what's changing and they want to know what that means for traffic, lifestyle, growth, home values, and the future of the area. So video examples in this content bucket would be things like 10 major projects that will change Charleston forever, or looking at Levi's channel again. You have titles like Dallas's mind-blowing mega projects that will transform America. Dallas's most expensive project in history will alter the city's future. Frisco's $4 billion Firefly Park is finally going vertical. This whole category is very strong. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you some plug and play titles that you can use on your YouTube channel. But first, let's continue honing in on some more examples here. The second content bucket is what you could call the something unusual content. This is market-related content, but framed in a way that feels timely and important. So not just your Charleston market update for March 2026. Instead, it's more like something abnormal just happened in the Charleston housing market. For example, I posted a video a month ago that's called "The Charleston, South Carolina Housing Market is Suddenly Acting Abnormal," and it already has 6,000 views. Other examples could be things like why these Tampa homes aren't selling, but others are, or the brutal reality of the Boston market right now. These work because they create curiosity and urgency. They make the viewer feel like, wait, what happened? Or I need to know this before I make a move. By the way, I have a freebie that I created just for you. If you feel like you're doing all of the things for your YouTube channel, but it's still not producing consistent leads, then it's time to stop guessing and start fixing the right things. It's called the YouTube Channel Reset, your 30-day makeover plan. In this workbook, I'll share why your channel isn't working based on 3 foundational principles where most agents are making mistakes, plus exactly what to do to fix them. Walk away with an action plan to turn your existing channel into a real estate lead gen asset without starting over, even if you don't have a YouTube channel yet. In this training, you'll learn important concepts and how to get started with the right content from day one. Go to agentselevated.co/reset to download this workbook totally for free. The link is also in the description below. Okay, so the third content bucket that's working really well on YouTube right now is protective or cautionary content. This is a big one right now. A lot of buyers are not just looking for inspiration, they're looking for protection. They want help avoiding mistakes. So this is where titles like "Avoid these 5 overpriced neighborhoods in Charlotte," "Don't buy a new construction home in Tulsa," or "Why everyone is leaving Las Vegas" can work really well. That kind of framing taps into risk, and real estate decisions are high stakes decisions. So you're meeting people where their mind is already at, and it's not clickbaity if you're actually delivering helpful content. The fourth content bucket is honest perspective content. This is content like, "I've lived here for 10 years, here are my honest thoughts. My biggest regrets moving to this city. What locals know that newcomers don't." Or, "The truth about living in San Diego." This works because people want perspective right now. In a world of AI, there is content overload. Anybody can go ask ChatGPT a question, but what they don't get from AI is a real person's perspective. People do not just want polished information. They want honest, local credibility, and a real point of view. The fifth content bucket is aspirational local content. This includes topics like where the old money lived. This is a really popular topic right now. Check out this guy in Tampa who posted this exact video 4 months ago and already has 140,000 views. Or this one in San Francisco that posted 8 months ago and has 431,000 views. I just published my take on this video yesterday, so we'll see how it goes. Other aspirational local content would be something like where the wealthy live, the best luxury neighborhoods, hidden upscale enclaves. This category works because it taps into luxury, curiosity, and aspiration, and it tends to do well in almost any market. And finally, the last major content bucket that works really well is, of course, 55 plus and retirement content. Like I said earlier, this is still a really strong category. Things like the best 55 plus communities near Myrtle Beach, retiring to Seattle, what nobody tells you, or Bluffton versus Somerville, South Carolina for retirees. This content is very effective because the viewer is very research heavy. Often they take years to decide where to retire, and they will watch countless hours of content trying to weigh all the pros and the cons and find their perfect retirement destination. The more details and authenticity you give this demographic, the more they will love you for helping them solve their real immediate needs. I was just having coffee with a friend of mine the other day, and she was saying that her parents love YouTube and they're looking at YouTube videos on where they should retire. And she was kind of joking, except she was serious in saying that if a YouTube video is only 20 minutes long, that they're like, "Ooh, we think that's too short and we don't know if it's gonna have all the information we need." And really, this client loves details. I am telling you, the more details you can give them, the better. They are the ones who are going to watch every minute of your video as long as it's valuable and helpful. Okay, to wrap this video up, let's get really practical. I've already given you a bunch of examples today, but let's recap, and I'm going to share with you some frameworks that you can use. Because one of the biggest things that agents struggle with is not just what to talk about, but how to package the video. And there are some very clear title frameworks working right now. So I'm going to give you the top 9 titles that you can pick from to use on your channel today. The first one is why these area homes aren't selling, but others are. This works because it creates a curiosity gap, and it's immediately relevant to both buyers and sellers. Another one is avoid moving to the wrong area in city. This works because it's protective, high stakes, and very clickable. Another strong one is something abnormal just happened in area housing market. This works because it feels timely, urgent, and newsworthy. Next, we have X major projects that will change area forever. This one is strong because it's evergreen, it has scale, and it positions you as informed. Another great one is why area is the opposite of every US city. This works as an identity play. It's interesting, shareable, and a little unexpected. Then there's the brutal reality of living in an area right now. This works because it feels honest, a little controversial, and very human. Another strong one is, I've lived in area for X years. My honest thoughts. This works because it builds trust and local credibility. And then you also have a title like Area is Changing Forever, or Company or Development is About to Change Everything in Area. This kind of title works really well when there's a big local project or shift that you can tie it into. What all of these have in common is that they're not random. They're tapping into very specific drivers: curiosity, urgency, fear, identity, credibility, and local relevance. And that is exactly why they work. Here's my advice. If you're a real estate agent trying to grow on YouTube right now, I would not try to do all of this. I would pick 2, maybe 3 content buckets that fit my audience and market best. This approach is going to be much stronger than just posting random local videos with no bigger strategy behind them. And while sometimes you don't want to reinvent the wheel, and you do want to use these exact titles that seem to be working across the board and trending right now, you can also look at this framework and ask, how can I adapt this to my market or my audience? How can I make this fit my voice? Because the goal is for us all to not become clones, but rather the goal is to take what's working and make it relevant to your niche and your brand and who you authentically are as a person. Now, in the next video, I'm going to dive even deeper into why this type of content is working so well right now, including why niche channels are outperforming broad generic channels, why some videos get views but not leads, and why agents need to think more like library builders rather than just content creators. By the way, this is a crazy world we're living in right now as real estate agents. There's so much shifting happening with brokerages and MLSs and these big companies. So if you feel like you might need a change and you are interested in considering eXp Realty or eXp Commercial, I offer a no pressure confidential call to help you talk through the opportunity and see if it's a good fit for you. You can book a call on my calendar in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.